Welcome back to Social Media Journalism, an online course for the University of Texas at Austin. I'm Robert Quigley, the instructor. This is the final module on the future of social media. So the big question is, what is next? I hear that all the time. People want to know my opinion on what is next in social media and in technology. I wish I had the answers. I would make some really great investments if so. All I know is that things are going to change. They have always changed, and it's going to continue to change as people innovate. So will a company like Facebook turn into a company like MySpace? I think it's possible. As the internet evolves and becomes much more mobile than it even is right now, can a company like Facebook that does not have that great of a mobile application and relies heavily on display advertising, which doesn't work as well on mobile phones, can it stick around in the form it's in now? I don't know. I think it might be actually pretty difficult for them to maintain the level of power that it has right now. Is Pinterest forever? I've heard this one a couple times too. Are we just in a fad phase where it's fun to try something new, but it could go away? I think if Pinterest has any problems whatsoever, it's going to be legal problems, because sharing photos in the way that it shares them and displaying them large like it does without asking for permission from the copyright holder is more of a problem than probably Pinterest lets on. So if they face any problems, it'll be that. But it is a fun service to use. If they could figure that problem out and solve that issue, I think it has some staying power. Twitter, that's the old fail whale. We don't see the fail whale quite as much as we used to. Twitter, for all of its positive press and its amazing growth in the past several years, has had some issues with scaling, with getting larger and being able to handle that network crunch. Will Twitter still be around 5 years from now? I just don't know. Like I said, I wish I knew so I could make some good investments. I like the service a lot. I'm not saying that nobody could come up and take their place, so it's possible. Meanwhile, poor Google Plus really needs to find a way to pull more average folks in to its service. Integration with the Android phones definitely will help it quite a bit, considering Android has at least half of the smartphone population in the United States and across the world, and so that may help pull people in. But right now, the community is just not there. They need the mom and dad and friends and cousins and people from school and all that in there, just like Facebook has them for the community to take off. So where is it going? Well, social media is here to stay. It's no more a fad than the internet is a fad. This is how the internet is now. We expect to be able to talk and have a conversation with people. The internet, as I remember it when it first started, was very static. It was more or less advertisements put out by people who were posting pages. Now there's conversations, and so that is not going to change. As I said, the mobile must be done well to survive. You must find a way to make money off mobile. You must find a way to make it a great user experience. Otherwise, you won't be able to continue. And we are all pretty invested in the platforms and services that are out there right now. Think about all the photos you may have uploaded over the years to Facebook or to Flickr, and how it would be such a pain to move those somewhere else if you decided you wanted to try a new platform that came along. You may cut bait and just say, well, I had all those photos there, but oh well, they're gone now. But most people feel pretty invested in what they have right now, and so that helps keep you where you are. That's part of the reason that Facebook unrolled Timeline, which is a way that they feel like that would make you more invested in Facebook, because you're basically using it to keep track of your life. and they want that. They want it to be such a part of your life that you look back on it and say, oh yeah, that's when I graduated from high school, and oh, there's the picture from when I got married, right there on my timeline with the date. So we are invested, which makes it a little bit harder to move on to the next big thing as it comes along. But even if something were to go away, even if something big were to go away like Facebook, and let's say you spend a lot of time as a journalist building up your community, whether it's for your news organization or for yourself, no worries, no reason to panic, because those people are just people. And when a new platform comes along, which there always will be a new platform, you could tell your old group of community that you build up, hey, we're over here now, follow us. And if, as long as you did a good job with your social media, they will. So it's not like you are invested necessarily in the platform itself. You're invested in the community that's on that platform. I believe that journalists need to experiment and not wait and see. I hear so much wait and see. Let's see whether or not Pinterest is really that big of a deal before we spend any time on it. Let's see whether Google Plus is worth even trying before we do anything. You know, they want to wait and see something take off and be big before spending any time on a platform, and I think it's a bad move. I think we need to be experimenting as much as possible. The last thing that journalists need to be right now is behind the curve when it comes to new technology. We need to find a way to get out front as much as possible. Whether it's a future job or a job you have now, you should be the employee who gets it, who understands all of the potential that's there and is willing to experiment and try these new tools. If you are just willing to try things, you'll go far. So will we all be wearing glasses this time next year that have a heads-up display that show us all of our social connections and all the information that a smartphone gives us? It's possible. If you haven't seen Google Glasses, definitely check that out on YouTube. Just do a search for Google Glasses and you will see the potential that is there to really change the way that we interact with everything through the internet. And so how would this change journalism? It would change journalism in so many ways, because there would be so much content going out there. There'd be so much content that the important thing would be how do we make sense of any of it? And so those journalists who know how to look through social networks, who know how to look through data, find information, interesting information, and then share it with people will become even more valuable, because there'll be so much input. There'll be so many more videos and so many more live videos and that kind of thing. So definitely keep your eye on technology as it comes along and embrace it and figure out a way to make it work for telling stories. After all, that's why we're here. All right, it's time to take the final quiz of the semester. I hope you've enjoyed these modules. Again, my name is Robert Quigley for the University of Texas.